Welcome to Tackle Fanatics TV, and in this episode of TFTV, Ian Chillcott gives you some hints and tips on fishing in the weed.
I'm here today at RK Fisheries Raisbury 1, aka the North Lake, a lake of some 45 acres stocked with some of the most stunning carp you'll ever see. I arrived here yesterday evening about 4 o'clock. It's quite a weedy venue, so I had to spend some time finding some holes in the weed to get my presentation perfect. Once I'd done that and baited up those spots, I had quite a spectacular night actually. Unfortunately, I lost 2 fish in the weed, which is going to happen, but I caught 5 fantastic carp, including this maybe 16, 17 pound common. The most important thing now is to get this fish back in the water, and then I'm going to tell you how I caught them. Well, I was just about to show you how I caught that fish, but the tactics have worked once again, and very, very quickly too. One of the biggest things once the fish has got into the weed is to keep it moving, which might seem a little bit excessive to begin with, but as long as you can keep that weed moving, it doesn't get clamped down on the bottom. I'm sorry if this looks a little bit fraught, that's because it is. And the last thing I want to happen is for this fish to fall off. Again, like I said, just keep it moving. I can feel it moving very, very slowly. As long as I keep it all moving towards me, I'll deal with the mess when I get the lump of weed. Well, there endeth the lesson for today about the kind of mess you can get in when you're fishing weedy waters. Obviously the weed itself holds a lot of the carp's natural food, but it's also their sanctuary, so the first thing he's going to head for as soon as you've hooked him is the thickest bit of weed. Consequently, I've pumped back about a ton of weed, and the most spectacular looking little linear. He's in the net and he's safe, and that's the main thing. It just goes to show that you have to use the strongest tackle you can, and the best bait you can, something that can compete with that natural food and make him eat it. And here is the result of that battle in the weed. They don't have to be monsters to get you into trouble when you're fishing in the green stuff. However, what a spectacular looking fish. Probably 15, 16 pound, and I really, really couldn't be happier. They really are the most spectacular carp in here. This is one of the newcomers to the lake, but it offers fish, some of the originals, to 47, 48 pound. Commons of similar size too. It really is an incredible place to fish, and I think we'll get this little fella back, and I'm going to try and catch some more. The swim I'm in here at Raisbury is probably a swim that's going to be overlooked by an awful lot of people, simply by the amount of weed that's in it. Now, carp love weed. Their food is in it, it offers them protection, and throughout the day it's also kicking out a load of oxygen, so it's a very comfortable place for a carp to be, and the reason that I've chosen it. People don't like weed in the main, I think, because they think it ruins their presentation, and to be honest with you, I'd rather have a hook bait presented half decently in an area of the lake where the carp are and where they want to feed than one presented perfectly where they're not. I didn't want to whip the water to a foam yesterday evening, so what I did, I had to find a spot to fish, of course, and that took a few casts. I'm not entirely sure what's on the bottom there, but it was relatively clear, and my preferred presentation was a pop-up. Now, I fish them on a hinged stiff link, and I do something a little bit different with them too. I put a little bit of plastic on top, not for extra buoyancy, but maybe as a sight bob. I haven't really got any faith in the fact that carp operate by eyesight. I don't think it's one of their main things. I think above, when things are silhouetted by the skyline, predation predominantly is what they're looking for. They can see items of food and they'll pick them up when you're surface fishing and zig fishing. However, using a pop-up in a weedy situation, at the very least it ensures that the hook bait is available for the carp to pick up. Remember, fishing in weed is very much a three-dimensional environment. A lot of the free offerings you're going to put in are going to hang up in the weed and the carp will take them from there. I'd go so far as to say using a pop-up straight off the lead is just as effective. Now, I'm not the world's greatest fan of single hook bait fishing, but if I see fish showing constantly in an area, then I want to get a hook bait there as quickly as I can. It's probably going to be a pop-up on a stiff link rig, and it's probably going to be a banoffee pop-up. Visually very, very bright if that's important, and they smell absolutely fantastic. It's a little bit like a McDonald's drive-in. I'm not inviting him in for a 3-course meal. I'm inviting him in for a snack, a little bit of food on the go, and they do it absolutely perfectly. Another old favourite is the milky toffee. It's white. If visual aspects of bait are your thing, then that's absolutely perfect. But the milky toffee flavour is going to get his attention just as much as his eyesight. Today I'm using hybrid boilies in 10 and 14 mils, and I want my hook bait more or less to represent the free offerings I'm putting in. So it's the hybrid 15 mil pop-ups that I'm using today. I do have other options though if I want, which is white and pink hybrid pops. It just gives you other options. Again, if I'm putting out free offerings I want them to pick up, I'm not that bothered about the colour as long as it looks similar to the offerings that I'm using. But carp fishing is very, very governed by your confidence, and if you've got confidence in it, that gives you an option. And there's one other little nugget to pop-up fishing. I'd rather go shopping in Tesco's naked than I would leave home without the high-vis pineapple juice pop-ups. They are absolutely fantastic. In deep water, say over 12, maybe 15 foot and beyond, I will use a very visual hook bait. Again, I don't buy into carp have got sharp eyesight, not for the food aspect of things anyway. And if it is a factor, then that bright yellow hook bait, and particularly that flavour, is probably going to get you the bite that you so desire.
You've been tuned into TFTV. Tackle Fanatics stock an extensive range of tackle and bait from all the leading manufacturers. To view our range, log on to www.tacklefanatics.co.uk. Remember, Tackle Fanatics offer finance to make your tackle purchase more affordable. Tight lines from everybody at TFTV.